Cowabunga dudes, in this video I'm going to show you how I've been making keto and paleo coconut flour tortillas. This is the best, simplest recipe that I've been using to make tortillas. I think if you've gone keto or paleo and you've given up grains, there's probably a lot of comfort food that you really miss. For me, I love fajitas, burritos, tacos, stuff like that, and so making a keto and paleo friendly tortilla, it can be a bit tough, it's easy to mess up, but I found a recipe that makes tortillas that are strong and sturdy, they don't fall apart, but they're pretty flexible as well, so you can fold them no problem. In this recipe there are only 3 essential ingredients, and those are coconut flour, eggs and almond milk, so you don't really get any more simple than that. In each tortilla there's only 4 grams of total carbs and 1 gram of net carbs, so very keto friendly, and the ingredients are obviously paleo friendly as well. If you want to make keto tortillas, there's basically 2 ways you can go about it. You can make a dough with almond flour, or you can make a batter with coconut flour. So today we're going to do the coconut flour one. For this recipe we're going to be using half a cup of coconut flour, 6 large eggs, or 7 to 8 eggs if you're not using large eggs, 1 1/4 cup of almond milk. Those are the only essential ingredients, but we're also going to add half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of paprika, 3/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt, and we're going to whisk all those together in a large bowl. Because we're using coconut flour, I recommend letting the batter sit for a few minutes just to allow it to thicken up. You want the batter to be quite runny, but you don't want it to be like watery. So if you think it's a little bit too thick, try adding a little bit of almond milk, but definitely not too much. Coconut flour is really absorbent, so it sucks up liquid like crazy, so sometimes you might have to add just a little bit more, but don't overdo it. You don't want it watery and runny. You're going to want to heat a small skillet over medium heat and grease it lightly with some oil. We usually use coconut oil or butter. Now pour in 1/4 cup of the batter, about 60 milliliters, or to make a larger one just add in 1/2 cup of the batter. Large ones are a little bit thicker and a little bit sturdier, stronger, but they can be harder to flip in the pan when it comes to cooking the other side, so I recommend start off with the smaller 1/4 cup size tortillas. When you pour in the batter, you're going to want to rapidly tilt the skillet in different directions to distribute it and widen the tortilla. When you've got the desired size, cover the skillet with the lid and allow it to cook for about 2 minutes. The edges should start looking golden and you should start seeing bubbles sort of coming up through the middle. At this point, lift up the lid, allow it to cook for another minute or so, and then flip it over and cook it on the other side until it's brown, which usually takes about another minute or 2. When it's done, remove from the pan and set it to one side, and just repeat this until the batter is all used up. As you can see, these came out really well. They're pretty strong and sturdy, but flexible as well. If you find that yours come out and they break apart a little bit, you can try adding 1 tablespoon of gelatin powder to the batter before cooking. That usually makes them a little bit more sturdy and less likely to break up. Like I said, they're really great for fajitas and tacos. I also use them as a wrap when I'm eating shawarma. You can also use them for quesadillas and enchiladas as well. So like I said, if you want to make a slightly smaller one, use 1/4 cup of the batter at a time. That should make about an 8-inch size tortilla. But if you want a bigger, slightly sturdier one, then maybe use 1/2 cup of the batter at one time. But it's a little bit tougher to flip, so bit of a trade-off. I usually go for the larger ones, and again, coconut flour can vary by brand in how absorbent it is, so you might have to add a little bit of liquid or an extra egg to get your batter to the right consistency. But you don't want it too runny, you don't want it watery, and you don't want it too thick either. But if you do add the extra gelatin powder, just keep in mind you're probably going to want to add an extra egg. So these came out really nice. I'm so happy with these. I'm definitely going to keep making them. They're so simple to make. They just contain 3 essential ingredients. They're easy, so give them a try. Let me know how you got on down in the comment section below. Cowabunga dudes.